Yeah, well, that's a great question. You know, the personal story is always interesting because, you know, the older I've gotten and the more growth that I've, you know, been able to do in myself, interpersonally, with relationships, the therapy work that I've done, it's just helped me like connect the dots into my own just story and the struggles, the arcs of the struggles within my story. I think when I originally got into this industry, I was coming off being a professional athlete and I had a lot of injuries and there was a lot of overprescription of opiates. I was abusing opiates at a certain point in my life. And I heard these stories, obviously we've been hearing these stories for the past couple decades within the pro landscape. And so I think originally I had this like immediate inspiration to help people mitigate pain and inflammation in a more natural way that I didn't have access to as an athlete that may or may not have prolonged my career. But now that I've been in this industry for a long time, and I've also been doing more work on myself, I'm realizing that my wellness journey started, you know, as a kid who suffered from anxiety and panic attacks. And I have a long family history of mental illnesses that were of course undiagnosed growing up because that was not something that we talked about. Mental health was very taboo. We did not talk about it. And then also a lot of addiction. And so when I look back on my childhood, you know, I had a lot of anxiety, and the three things that really helped me deal with it was movement, so like playing sports and being active and releasing that energy, being outside and kind of being rooted in nature, and you know, kind of like mindfulness. I mean, of course I didn't use that language, but like alone time and just time with my thoughts. And so I kind of had been developing and tapping into a wellness routine very early on as a kid, not knowing that that's what I was doing, but I knew that it helped me deal with some of the anxieties and the panic attacks that I was having. And then fast forward now, I think I've always had a passion for, you know, bringing more accessible wellness tools to help people feel better and to increase people's quality of life, whether it's through the power of movement or through wellness, you know, solutions like supplement products or educational materials. So I've sort of always had this in me, and I've been doing this for a very long time. And I think now, as we're getting into this age and era of talking about wellness and mental health and just taking care of yourself, especially for women, you know, it's just ignited the mission for Mendi even more. I mean, I think to your point, wellness is such a broad term, and it's a massive industry, and it can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, depending on where they're at in their life and where they came from, you know, their background. I think for Mendi and for me, my passion really lies with the, you know, the sort of all the overlapping components of wellness. In other words, we know that it's not a one size fits all. We also know that it's not a one pill thing. It's a lot of things that you have to do. And so that's why, you know, education is really important. I love being able to, you know, create content that's science-backed, that's also backed by people's personal experiences, because I think oftentimes that's sort of like the tipping point or like the aha moment for a lot of people, is when you can really relate it to yourself. But I think for us, you know, we are definitely a brand that is trying to empower people who are already on a fairly healthy path and who are already health conscious, because we know that if you take our gummy and you sit on the sofa all day and eat a, you know, a bag of chips and throw back a 12-pack of beer, we know that that's not going to do much for you. It might calm your state a little bit, but you're probably already going to be in a hyper stressed out state anyway because of all the stuff that you're putting in your body and your sedentary lifestyle. So that may not be our consumer. So we're really focused on empowering the people who are already fairly active and like on a healthy path, but really just looking for natural alternatives to maybe a few of the things that they're already taking to sort of like keep them on this path of like thriving. And that is what really excites us. I mean, I'm obviously come from a pro athlete background. I was a performance coach for 6 years. So I'm really passionate about the power of movement and what that can do for every part of your body. But you combine that with some plant-based wellness tools and your life can be a whole lot better. And that's really what we're doing. It's the marginal gains that we're trying to help people to increase their quality of life. But we know that it's a process, and it's certainly not a one size fits all. We have a suite of products because we want to meet a lot of different people wherever they're at on their journey. And for some people, that may be just like increasing their bath experience. For other people, it may be increasing their massage therapy experience. For some people, it may be increasing, their experience of like drinking something, but they want it to be more medicinal, so they can take our drink tablet, because everyone has a different preference. We stand by the quality of our products and, the stack of ingredients that we're putting together to really target 4 main benefits, which are sleep, stress, fatigue, and pain, which are sort of the building blocks for like full body recovery. But we have a suite of products. We have a broad range of products. We have like 8 different product categories because, everyone is at a different place in their wellness journey, and we really want to try and meet them where they're at. A lot of stigma. I mean, originally we were like an athlete focused brand. And so we were really trying to like destigmatize cannabis in sports, which is a war in and of itself. I think now, you're seeing a lot of leagues and professional teams loosen up their hemp and cannabis bans, which is amazing. What's interesting though is 4 years later, now I feel like we're dealing with just the stigma of CBD in general. Some people, when they hear that we sell CBD products, are like, CBD, gosh, who's not selling CBD? And it's true. There's a lot of people in this industry. The market's been very saturated, and unfortunately it's been flooded with a lot of not so great products. It always just like breaks my heart when I hear people say like, oh, I tried it once and it didn't do anything to me. That may be true. I mean, CBD is definitely a very powerful plant compound, or just the hemp plant in general is very powerful, but it does have a subtle effect, and it's best used consistently over time if you want to like reap the full benefits. But probably what's happened is they've taken a product that either was falsely labeled or wasn't a very high quality CBD product. So I think now we're kind of just dealing with the stigma of just being like in the CBD industry because it was sort of touted as a cure-all, and we know that's not true. And I think that brands didn't do a very good job of stewarding the customer in a way that was educational, in a way that like really made them feel empowered to choose the best products for them. Instead, they were like trying to funnel them into a shopping experience that maybe wasn't built for their personal needs. So it's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think in the beginning, to answer your question, it was more of the stigma of just being in the sports industry and trying to make those products more accessible and more familiar to athletes to help them play at the highest level. Now we're continuing to just try and like pump people with, or armor people with content that really just helps them feel empowered to make the best decision for them, with science-backed information, with anecdotal evidence, with my experience, using these products now for years. So yeah, the stigma has shifted a little bit in the last couple of years, I would say. When we survey the industry, and it's particularly the wellness industry as a whole, and just like performance in general, and what a lot of people struggle with. I mean, pain, sleep, and symptoms of anxiety or stress are definitely like the 3 top sort of epidemics in our country, especially sleep and anxiety. These are 2 epidemics that I think we will continue to be fighting against for years to come, just because of all of the stress that we deal with, particularly here in America. And post-COVID. So, those were 3 very like clear benefit categories that we knew we needed to solve for. And as a performance coach and someone that came from the professional training industry and just have worked with a lot of athletes, like we know sleep is like the best thing that you can do for your body. So we absolutely wanted to focus on sleep. And, you know, fatigue is an interesting one because I think people get a little bit confused that we have an energy category. And there's a lot of misconception about CBD and it making you fall asleep and it being sedative right off the bat, which we know, yes, if taken in high dosages, CBD can be more of a sedative. But if taken in smaller quantities and sort of microdosing, it can actually stabilize your energy and make you feel like you have more energy and definitely more mental clarity because it reduces stress. So we thought it was really important to have an energy category because fatigue is definitely something that people really struggle with. And I think especially when you look in the beverage industry, people are used to drinking energy drinks. And so it's just like a natural consumer behavior. And we wanted to make sure that we provided something in that category. So our 4 benefit categories that we develop products for obviously are better sleep, less stress, and then help people manage pain and then help people fight fatigue naturally. I think we'll just stick with those 4 probably for the foreseeable future. We feel really confident about those being the really healthy foundational building blocks for full body care. And then, like I said, we have 8 different product categories that we offer, but all our products fall in that benefit. So we really just try and meet people with the question of like, well, what are you struggling with? Or what's the thing that like you're trying to get out from this product? And then just kind of like steer the shopping experience from there. You know, obviously I'm the CEO and founder, so some people may think I'm biased, but I really do think that we have some of the best products, if not the best products in the market. And again, to really just like target whatever your needs are. So my kind of like weekly routine, I take at least 1 to 2 gummies a day. I typically like full spectrum, which is 0.3% or less of THC, but it's just full plant power. And so if you're someone that doesn't fall under any strict testing policies, we always recommend going full spectrum. So, you know, morning, you know, usually with my coffee right before, I take our stress tincture, which is packed with ashwagandha and GABA and 5-HTP, to, you know, reduce the stress, calm the mind, especially it kind of helps like mitigate some of those coffee jitters. I am a staunch coffee drinker, so I don't see myself ever giving that up. It's sort of like what gets me out of bed in the morning. But it's nice to have that balance with coffee. And then I'm usually like an afternoon exerciser. So after my workout, either at noon or like early afternoon, I'll take a gummy, full spectrum again, sort of kickstart recovery because CBD is a natural anti-inflammatory. Technically, I mean, I'm not like under a strict diet per se, but if you are going to have sugar, it's the best time to ingest it is after a workout, like once you've used that energy. So not that we have a lot of sugar in our gummies and it's all organic cane sugar, but there's a little bit of sugar. So I'll take a gummy. And then we have 3 topicals. We have bath salts, we have a massage oil, and we have a scalp stick. And they're kind of all used for different purposes. I love taking baths. So I take a couple baths a week for just sort of, it's a mindfulness practice, helps clear my brain, and kind of, you know, clear some of the anxieties that I'm feeling, but it's also great for just full body recovery and for sore muscles and achy joints. I've had, you know, 4 knee surgeries and ankle surgeries, so I've definitely, my body's been through the toll a little bit. And so it's great for me for like a couple days a week just to rejuvenate the muscles and get that full body care. And then the massage oil is probably my next favorite topical. It's, again, everyone has a preference. Like our scalp sticks are #1 selling product for pain relief, but I think it's because people like the mess-free nature of it and they don't want to deal with it on their hands. So it is a really great tool for like quick cooling of pain relief. But the massage oil covers more surface area. It's a deeper tension and muscle relief than the salve. And I love massage therapy, so I'm like rubbing that oil like all over my body. I have like an achy shoulder, all over my knees, my quads, my Achilles if they get really tight after runs. So it's great for your arches too, like if you're a runner and you get sore arches. So I would say the massage oil is more my go-to. And then at night, pretty much every night, I take our sleep tincture, which is our best-selling product for sleep. So that's kind of a lot. That's a big routine. And obviously I didn't even touch on our drink tablets, which are a great product if you love to consume your beverages. Sometimes I just kind of like forget about them. So the tincture and the gummies are a little bit more my go-to. But yeah, I would say that's my routine. And again, it kind of just depends on what your needs are. Like that's why we've created so many different product categories. They're so nice to have. And it's not like you need to use them every day too. So they really can like last a long time. Although I will say I definitely take a full spectrum gummy, at least one every day. We are not a brand that is about making a bunch of money and keeping it for ourselves. Like, we really do want to build a brighter future for everyone in this world. And I believe that there's enough for all of us to eat, even though a lot of us, women in marginalized communities, have been fed this sort of scarcity narrative for a long time, that there's only room for a couple of us at the top. We know that's not true. And for me, starting companies, this is my second company, it's about the journey. It's about being inclusive and bringing everyone in along the process. And it's really about all of us winning and all of us having a seat at the table. I wouldn't do this if I didn't have a larger mission in mind, just from a personal perspective and just like personal purpose. So we definitely, it's really what ignites us, is kind of like bringing everyone along, and we're being brought along by other larger companies as well. I mean, I think that's the beauty of giving. The giving effect is you see it come in return, sometimes tenfold. But just our main focus is, being a woman, being a queer woman. I think, we know a thing or two about marginalized communities. I've raised money, and there only being 2.5% of VC funding going to female or queer founded companies. It's dismal and it's rough and it's not fair. Why is 97% of the capital going to male founded companies? That's just not fair, when we know statistics are showing us that women-led companies steward their money better and usually have better returns than male founded companies. So, if nothing else, I'm on a mission to smash the patriarchy, and I think that there's a lot of people on the same mission. We also know, just being in the hemp and cannabis industry, our Black and brown communities have not reaped the same financial rewards as white founders and white people working in this industry. And so we want to help with those inequities as well. And then also just taking care of our planet. We have to do everything we can to take care of the world that we live in. We only get one. The cannabis industry produces a lot of waste. There's a lot of plastic packaging being used in this industry. It's our ultimate goal to be B Corp certified. So we're hoping that we can do that within like our first 5 to 7 years. So we have a little ways to go. We're still building up our supply chain to be able to do that. But it's definitely a goal of ours. So those are our main focuses. We have a few different nonprofits that we just partner with every year, but we also like to partner with new people, because there's a lot of a lot of organizations that are doing incredible work, and we want to be able to amplify the work that they do. To see, for us, the last 3 years have been very uncertain with the landscape of the pandemic, and also just in our industry. So I think we're excited to see more consistency, and just to see and to feel a little bit stronger of a ground underneath us. We're going into our 4th year, so we just finished our 3rd year in business. The first 3 years, you're building everything, so it feels very chaotic and things are breaking. But hopefully the goal is that they're breaking less and less as the years go on. But we've built a really strong foundation, and we're still building brand equity in the space. But we feel really proud of the brand that we started with 3 years ago and where we're at now. And I think that, just the time and energy that we've put into just staying true to who we are and telling our story and leading with sincerity and authenticity, I think, I believe in the long-term benefits of that. So we're excited to just stay tried and true to our core. And then I would say the other thing we're looking forward to, I just went blank. I had something else. And other than consistency, what was I going to say? My mind totally just went blank. Our community. Yeah, sorry. We've built a very proud and loud and loyal community, and I think we're just excited to keep bringing people into the fold. I think the more people that find out about us, they become such loyal customers, and we're so proud to be able to support them with our tools and hopefully our educational content and just our story. But just meeting more people and bringing more people into the Mendi ecosystem, whether it be customers or partners or athletes or investors, people like yourself, like collaborative opportunities to be able to amplify both brands and both missions. I think we have built a company that resonates with people, but I think also people really know that like we're in it for the long haul, and we have really pure intentions. And so we're getting less and less of like the shady folks, partners reaching out and trying to do stuff with us, and more of like, they're just incredible people like yourself who just are on a mission to sort of better people's lives. And this is the work that we love to do. And I feel like we're at a place now where we're not really having to like explain who we are. People know who we are. We've been around for a few years. And so we just want to kind of keep that work going. Consistency and stability like aren't sexy words sometimes, but we're really excited for a little bit more consistency in the market and just the landscape and supply chains and pricing. And so that's definitely something that we're looking forward to going into our 4th year.